Hi, I'm going to do a long video post here about hockey, professional NHL level hockey coming to Salt Lake City. And I know there are two of you who are lukewarm fans of my work, so I hope you get something out of this. Within the last few weeks, we started to hear rumors that became more than rumors that the Arizona Coyotes, formerly known as the Phoenix Coyotes, were probably going to move to Salt Lake City, and that ownership would be transferred from the owner in Arizona to Ryan and Ashley Smith, owners of the Utah Jazz. That is a done deal pretty much. There might be some permissions that still have to be signed off on, but I just got an email today from the Utah Jazz. I'm one of 8 million people that get their automated emails. But this email said, the NHL is coming to Utah and we want to give you priority access to be part of it. Today, the National Hockey League announced the establishment of a new NHL franchise in Utah, which will begin play at Delta Center. They don't use the word the, they just call it Delta Center. So you can't say the Delta Center, you have to say Delta Center. Begin play at Delta Center in the 2024-25 season and be part of the Smith Entertainment Group portfolio. Okay, so the hockey team is definitely coming here. What's happening that I read about a couple days ago was that the Smiths have to pay the Arizona dude something like $1.2 billion. About $1 billion is for the team itself, and the other $200 million is like a transfer type fee that is a fee paid to the league, and they divide it up among the other franchise owners so that they can buy huger yachts for themselves. So when the Arizona dude sold or is selling the team to the Smiths, I believe he's not going to sell the name Coyotes or the the trade dress and logos and stuff associated with that. So the new team in Utah, or the transfer team in Utah, cannot be the Coyotes. I think that would have been a cool name because there are, in fact, coyotes in Utah that go around, eating little dogs and that kind of thing. Yes, they do eat their own kind. Actually, I don't really know if they eat dogs or not, but they do. They do create trouble in Utah, some cities. Okay, so the team cannot be called the Coyotes. What should they be called? There have been way too many posts on social media about this, people beating it to death, so I'll be short. One name I really like is the Yetis. A Yeti is like a fictional being, like a guy that goes around in the snow and is very upset, kind of man-like, but also like a beast, sometimes known as the abominable snowman. I don't know my lore really well. Is the Yeti and the abominable snowman, is that the same guy as Bigfoot and Sasquatch? Is it the same guy, but in the winter he becomes the abominable snowman and Yeti, and in the summer he dries off and maybe gets his hair cut, and then he's Sasquatch and Bigfoot? I don't know. Anyway, I like the Yeti idea. There was a minor league team in Utah in the 1980s, a minor league hockey team called the Golden Eagles. People who are super old like me remember that with some fondness, that era. They had green and gold jerseys that were kind of cool. I would be excited to see the Golden Eagles return, if you will. The Golden Eagles to fly again. There is a team in Vegas called the Golden Knights. So should we have the Golden Eagles and the Golden Knights so close together? I don't know. We have bald eagles in Utah. I could see just calling the team the Bald Eagles. That'd be pretty cool. Those are the only names that I personally have heard that I like. People say things like, oh, let's call them the Utah Saints, and they think they're the first person to make that joke, even though 85 billion people have made it. Of course, it's not going to be called Saints. People say things like, oh, let's call it the Pioneers, but nobody's really serious about that either. That's too old-fashioned of a name, and anyway, there's lots of other names it could be. Some people have said, oh, Blitz or Freeze and this kind of thing. So who knows what it'll end up being. Okay, so that's enough on the naming. Now, what about, is this franchise going to be viable in Salt Lake? I myself live in this area. I live about 20 miles from Salt Lake City, so I'm not right downtown, but I do go downtown plenty, especially because that's where I have a guy that provides fresh corn dogs to me. He sells them out of the back of a windowless van. He doesn't actually have a set location. He circles the block, and he's kind of like an orbit. And if you're lucky, you kind of catch his orbit as he goes past where you are, and you can buy fresh, hot corn dogs from him, as long as the authorities aren't around. So that is why I go downtown. Anyway, will this team be viable? Will we be able to get 20,000 people a match out to this? Now, there are 82 regular season games for an NHL team. That means 41 times the good people of Salt Lake and the surrounding region have to come out and support the team. It seems that I would say more likely than not that we could support it. Now, one challenge is it doesn't seem like there's a lot of natural enthusiasm for hockey in this area. I think growing up I had one friend that played ice hockey. That's the only one I can remember. Most of us played something like soccer or American football. I played Mumbledy Peg. That's that game where you throw a knife in the grass. That was pretty big where I grew up. But mostly it's your regular, summer type sports. So there are a lot of wealthy people in Utah, and the population's growing. There are a lot of people that have a lot of pride in this area and want to see it established as a stronger destination for travel. So I could see a lot of people getting behind the franchise. Who knows? But on the other hand, to keep up with with 20,000 people going to a match, night after night, year after year, I don't know. Maybe it's something where we'd lose interest. Now, if the team was quite good, obviously that makes a difference. If the team is kind of a loser, you could see maybe the fun of it wearing off. One other thing to address is where will the team play? As I read from that email about 18 minutes ago at the start of this chat, they've announced they'll be playing at Delta Center. Again, do not say the Delta Center or you'll be zapped. It's called Delta Center. They will play there. Apparently, the league has required the Smiths to make hockey-appropriate modifications to the arena. I don't know what that means. Does that mean they have to increase the volume of beer sales? Maybe so. No, but I'm sure they have to reconfigure the seating somehow. So the Smiths are going to do that. A while ago, a couple months ago, when the Smiths were talking about wanting to bring a franchise here, Ryan Smith said something about possibly wanting to build a new arena near Draper and Bluffdale in an area where there used to be a prison. The prison was relocated about a year ago. Not only was the prison relocated, but the prisoners were also relocated, and the guards, all the shivs, the nasty cafeteria food, and everything associated with the prison was moved. Complete job. So there is, I don't know how much it is, 20 acres, 40 acres, 100, I don't know, maybe more than that, whatever it is. Big prime site for development in the suburbs of Salt Lake, and Ryan talked about wanting to build an arena there. It didn't seem like it was met with a ton of enthusiasm by a lot of the area, I think, because people that don't live near that area are like, oh, great. I could make it downtown, but I don't want to drive another 20 miles out to the Draper area. So it seems to me more likely that long term, if they get a new arena, it will be downtown, not out in the Draper area. I believe it was the Utah legislature that authorized sales tax rates to be increased in Utah by a quarter point or half point. I don't know if that was to help pay for a new arena or to build a new economic district or something. I'm not a big fan of that. If you have billions of dollars to buy a team, to own the Jazz and now buy a hockey team, it seems like you should have plenty of money to do whatever development is needed without having people pay more for their groceries and their cigarettes and whatever things people buy. Sales tax is a disproportionate burden on poor people because it's a higher percentage of their taxes. Anyway, so Thanks for listening for the zero.